All right, it's the end of the week. Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the Daily Fail, meme review, the software releases, the websites by plebes. Drop us a like, subscribe. You know the drill. All right, we are currently at a block height of 679,522. Current Bitcoin price 61,790. Chain rewrite days 608. Total lightning capacity 1,207.56. Bitcoin versus gold market cap 9.95. We went below 10%. Sats per dollar. We're above 1,600. We're at 1618. And that all-time high price hasn't moved. Still 64,840. But it's okay. We're spending a lot of time in this territory.
Yeah, dude, and it's channeling upwards. Not that it matters, but yeah, it's super exciting. But it's 1600 Moscow time. You know, dude, the Sats per dollar, that metric just makes me so bullish how far we've come. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily Fail.
Daily Fail. Obviously, it's not our boy Daniel Prince. He's not the Daily Fail, but the person he's referring to. Okay, all right. It just keeps getting better. Bitcoin is an open Ponzi scheme. Here we go. The intelligent yet idiot. The guy who thinks his shit doesn't stink and he's just so special and so smart and all of us are just so stupid waiting to hear his pearls of wisdom. Nassim Taleb, please tell us about currency. We don't understand it. A currency must earn interest. Currencies weren't born from government design, but from commercial credit. A deflationary currency blocks borrowing. Oh, he's decided that. So he's decided that anybody that's taking in Bitcoin and lending it out or anything like that, you know, companies like Unchained, they're not really doing business. Somebody should tell them. Anyways, BTC is just an open Ponzi scheme. Money made by someone is taken from someone else. He explains it better. I don't think I've ever heard him explain that somebody else could explain it better. So that's pretty interesting all on its own. Anyways, look, so Daniel Prince comes back and goes, imagine thinking fiat, not a Ponzi scheme. Okay. So look, Nassim, people really in the Bitcoin community took a liking to him. He wrote the introduction to the Bitcoin standard, even though he didn't actually read the work. And then most recently he had some, or I don't know if it was that recent, but he had some, him and Saifedean had some words and, supposedly that relationship, kind of went awry. Anyways, I don't know much about that. But you know what? A lot of his work, Anti-Fragile, Fooled by Randomness, The Bed of Procrustes, he's written some really interesting work that a lot of Bitcoiners revere. And, pretty much ever since so interestingly enough, even before he sold his Bitcoin, he started calling us idiots and stuff like that. So it's interesting, right? Because there's a lot of us, we may be idiots, but we apparently earn enough to, pay to go to his expensive courses and buy his books. So I guess we're good enough for that though, right? And if you call him out on that, he obviously blocks you because he doesn't want to hear about what a hypocrite, pompous piece of shit he is. So yeah, have fun staying poor. You're a piece of crap, and we replaced you with better people in Bitcoin. So see ya.
I agree, dude. Definitely going to have fun staying poor. And what is it with the goddamn blue checkmark disease? It's like as if it's like contagious, man. They're just terrible takes, but dude, he's just another fiat economist academic thinking that somehow he could decide what is money and not the free market, right? It's like, why do you, it's like governments attempting to ban Bitcoin. It's like, wouldn't you just allow your citizens to choose what they feel like is the most valuable money, right? It's weird because all of a sudden people just flock to Bitcoin. If you don't have these artificial controls, man. So it's like, ignore what he says. It's just effing noise at this point, because it's not connected to reality, right? Reality is, bro, it's just number go up, it's unstoppable at this point. Anyone that doesn't see that is exactly right, Phil. It's definitely going to have fun staying poor. So, yeah, man, definitely an epic fail. That being said, Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by Looks Like a Plebe, Definitely a Plebe. You can go follow him at GEGELSMR. Giggles. Giggles. Okay, anyways, let's check out the meme. Chad Bitcoin. Man, it's great. It's simple compared to yesterday's or the day before's complex meme. And because of how good it is, I'm going to give this 20 Venezuelan bolivars. Ooh. It's absolutely worthless. This is where all fiat is going. Anyways, Phil, what are you going to give it?
I was just going to say, getting worthless, to a store near you. That's fantastic. All right. But look, that thing, you saw my initial reaction. I was like, WTF for a second, and I'm like, okay, I got this. That totally made sense. Look, I think it's great. I thought it was really funny. You know what? I am just gonna go with something simple, right? Because that was a simple meme. Vape pen.
Oh,
boom,
boom, boom. Damn. Okay. Can't beat that. 20 bolivars and a vape pen for that awesome meme. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody, check out this awesome meme from Jack Mahler's number 4 and number 7 in the finance category. Finance
category.
Finance. Okay, here we go. In the finance category in El Salvador, Google Play Store and App Store, and climbing. Okay, check this out. Man, look, super awesome. Like we've been saying, Phil, man, look, they've been getting... What?
Oh no, I'm just like, because they're getting bigger. Okay,
yeah. Okay.
The legacy system.
So yeah, man, look, I find this super bullish because Western Union and man, all those other services, they charge an arm and a leg. And the fact that, El Salvadorians, all, to be frank, all people in Central America, they have people working in the United States, right? And they send cash back to their families, which happens to be a lot of money in those countries, right? But they get completely ripped off through Western Union and those traditional legacy finance, sending money overseas. So Strike is literally, it's game changing for them. It's almost free and it's using Lightning. How bullish could that be? Anyways, Phil?
Oh man, I look, all I'm going to do is continue to echo your bullishness, right? Like it's fantastic to see this. Don't get me wrong, but I gotta, you gotta pray for those shit coins that base their entire use case on remittance. Because Ellen Strike's about to come over, eat your lunch, your breakfast, your supper, possibly take your house, maybe take your street.
Dude, yeah, it's so true. Dude, Ethereum's upgrade went so well yesterday. The whole blockchain crashed, right? So yeah, man.
But you know what? You got to give it to them. It crashed in unison. It just stopped everyone all together.
Man,
it's really good.
It's definitely the future of money.
The future of money. I can't wait to put my entire family's future wealth on this funny money layer that just stops working, and they're gonna fork it, make it proof of stake, give me some unicorns, a bunch of weird dance routines that make everybody feel uncomfortable in their seats while they're watching it. Yay, future of money.
Exactly. That is Ethereum. But bro, check this out. This is how we are winning, Phil. This is how Turkey's central bank just banned its citizens from using cryptocurrencies, aka Bitcoin and shitcoins, to purchase goods and services as of April 30th. Now, why would they be doing that? Let's check out Turkey's inflation. So this year's inflation in Turkey looks like it's around 15% year after year. Man, why would you not want to put your money in Bitcoin if you lived in Turkey? I absolutely understand. But dude, it looks like the government of Turkey isn't working for the people of Turkey. It looks like the government of Turkey is working for the central banks of Turkey. It's crazy how much Bitcoin just exposes them. Anyways, Phil?
Yeah, when a government is making you poor, the last thing they want is something that they can't really stop to prevent that poverty from happening, right? They need this to happen. So they obviously don't want you getting out of that, being able to, scurry out of that and, possibly not live the life of a slave. So hey, you know what? The government's catching on that, like, hey, wait a second, this thing is undermining us. It's making it so that people don't have to be slaves. They could actually maybe, possibly live on their own account and, maybe make lives better for their future generations. It's just a bunch of crap. Honestly. But look, let's be honest. What does it make a difference? All they're going to do by doing this is encourage a black market to spark up. It's going to rise. That's all you're going to see is a market that's going to accept Bitcoin payments. And there you go.
You're absolutely right.
People don't want to be robbed. People don't want to be robbed. They don't have to be robbed.
Their families, they have to put food on the table, bro, like everybody else, right?
Yep.
Like, you're going to save. You're going to do the best thing for your family. And you see it that every single country that has attempted to ban Bitcoin just gets a premium in that country, and the peer-to-peer volume just goes up through the roof, right? You can't stop it. You can't stop it, But it's just crazy. But Phil, there was something actually pretty scary that happened today, and I think that it's definitely worth our attention. There was a major crash in the hash rate today. Check this out. Bitcoin mining pool hash rates plummet following Northwest China blackouts. In the last 24 hours, ant pools fell by 24.5%, Bitcoin.com by 18.9%, Binance by 20%, Poolin by 30%. This is a huge drop in the hash rate. Normally, this would be a big deal. It goes on to say, they kind of explain, and this is the part that, is definitely, you should definitely pay attention to this. That part in China accounts for 65% chunk of the hash rate. So it's mostly attributed to the very cheap electricity there because it's isolated hydroelectric production, right? And it's just extremely cheap, right? But dude, it does account for 65% of the hash rate. This article explains what happened. It was apparently an explosion. It took nearly a quarter of the Bitcoin's hash rate offline, but the network is operating normally, of course, right? Honey Badger doesn't care. And these miners could be back online as soon as a week, right? So it wasn't an economical force that just pushed the hash rate down. It was kind of like, an act of God, but it does bring something to attention, right? And that is the concentration of hash rate in China. Of course, this isn't because, this is because the chip producer, the semiconductor, manufacturing in China is so cheap, and because the progress of mining technology was so steep, what tended to happen is that by the time you would ship the ASIC overseas, it was useless, right? But now that mining technology basically has reached its Moore's law limit, right? They can't make the chips more efficient. The miners have a much longer lifetime. The S9 is still making money, and that miner is 4 years old. Okay, so yeah, it was kind of scary when I saw that first, Phil. But it apparently, if you were to believe what this says, it is news coming out of China, right? It was, just an accident, I guess. But anyways, it does call to attention the concentration of hash rate. Phil, what are your thoughts?
You know me, right? Like I'm too stupid to understand, the real, the true, significance of all of this. So for me, seeing that, I'm just like, all right, well, you know what? If they can't bring up those miners in China, somebody else is going to fill that void. Like, to me, it's like I said before, right? It could be my ignorance, my foolishness. I just see that as a void that gets created, and someone is going to come in and fill that void.
Absolutely.
Or a group of people are going to come in and fill that void. So,
and if it doesn't get filled, the Bitcoin network will adjust this difficulty to keep the block time at 10 minutes. But I absolutely agree. Definitely looking at Bitcoin's price right now, it wouldn't make sense if people didn't just jump in, because the pie is bigger now that 25% of the network just went offline. You're actually getting more fees right now if you're mining, right? But anyways, Phil, you're absolutely right. Some people are picking up, this initiative to mine. Check this out. A tweet by the governor of Texas. Bitcoin mining startup BlockCap moves HQ to Texas. And, it goes on to explain. But Phil, I kind of see this as, man, You have the mayor of Miami, Frances Suarez, right, being very open to Bitcoin businesses in Miami. He's throwing Bitcoin 2021 there. They recently renamed the Miami Heat Arena. And you have Senator Cynthia Lummis, right, and you have the other House of Representatives that we've talked about on this show. I forget the name off the top of my head, but I'll pop it up. And man, like, and now you have the governor of Texas, man, like. Dude, these are very, like, these aren't just, you know, these are high level Republicans. Of course, you have the GOP House leader, right? Also, you know, kind of saying, listen, if the U.S. doesn't adopt Bitcoin, they're going to get left behind. So he understands the situation, right? It's just cool to see that, man. I'm honestly surprised, but I'm not surprised because the incentives of Bitcoin are just way too strong. Phil?
Yeah. You know, I think we're just going to see more and more of this. You know, like we're seeing such positive attitudes coming out of places that we really, I think a lot of people wouldn't expect, right? You know, like House speakers, you know, we've got mayors, you know, you've got governors. I mean, it's just like, look, the reality is it goes back to what you said. The incentives are just too strong. And once somebody fully grasps what is happening to their earnings power, what is happening with inflation, okay? And what is happening just in general with, you know, the monetary, you know, the monetary situation of the world, you can't help but want to insulate yourself and your family, which again, goes back to incentives.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Completely agree. And Bitcoin allows you to do that, right? And Phil, look, it looks like Bitcoin claims another victim, another fiat victim. Ray Dalio concedes. Ray Dalio on Bitcoin today or yesterday. I like the diversification. Okay, it's a step of this kind of asset. It should be part of any portfolio. It's got merit, right? It's got merit. So look, it looks like he's saving. It looks like he's saving his reputation a little bit, right? He's been anti-Bitcoin for a couple years now. It's funny how he switches when the price is sitting pretty at 61K. Michael Saylor's going in and Tesla. Wow, it doesn't look like this fiat investor was so smart. Of course, you know, Blackwater or whatever his, you know, it is an amazing hedge fund, but it looks like he was epically wrong on Bitcoin. But like always, Bitcoin humbles everybody. Phil? Yeah, so I just want to correct. It's Bridgewater Associates. Thank you, Phil. And this is exactly why Phil's here. But it's okay. And anyways, that company is, anyways, I'm not going to get into what I think. But look, you know what? At the end of the day, these guys, they're begrudgingly admitting it. Begrudgingly, they're looking at it. But I also think that people like him are smart enough that they were looking at it months before. I would like to believe that people like him were stacking way before he ever said this. You know, but look, I think that if anybody's being objective and they really take an honest look at why we value our currency, and if we take a look at Bitcoin, it has better features, it has better qualities. It is simply just a higher quality money that, for once, okay, is good for everybody that uses it, not just a very small group of people. That's huge, you know, and that's going to change the world, whether they want to accept it or not. And hey, it's nice to have Ray sooner than later, because at this price, we're still freaking early. We are still freaking early. You're absolutely right, Phil. That being said, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it? Software releases. All right, everyone. Looks like we've got Phoenix Wallet version 1.4.9 that was released, and that is down below in the show notes. Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. You know what to do. If you like the show or you like the episode, don't forget to smash that like button. Smash it. Yeah. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the news from the Bitcoin pleb perspective and the catastrophic fiat, from the PhD fiaters and the shitcoiners, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.